Welcome to Golden Software's video training for Surfer 11. Surfer is a versatile gridding, contouring, and surface mapping software package. In this demonstration, I'll be creating and editing 3D surface maps. 3D surface maps are three-dimensional shaded renderings of a grid file. To create a surface map, click Map, New, 3D Surface. Select the file demogrid.grd and click Open. Click on the 3D surface layer in the plot window to select it and update the properties in the Property Manager. On the General page, you can change the grid file used for the surface map by clicking on the yellow Open Folder button and selecting a new grid file. Check the Show Color Scale checkbox to show a color scale. You also have full control over the color map for the surface. Click Terrain next to Upper under the Material Color heading. There are a number of predefined color maps available for you to quickly choose from in the drop-down menu. The default colors are set to the Terrain preset. I will choose the Land Arid preset. If you do not like any of these options, you can create your own or modify a preset by clicking the ellipses button. These boxes are called nodes. Each node represents a color in the color map. When you click on a node, the color for that node is shown in the color button. You can change the color of the nodes by selecting a node, clicking on the color button, and selecting a new color for that node. You can move nodes up or down the color spectrum by selecting a node and dragging it to the left or right. You can also enter a z-value for that node by typing it in the value box. You can add more nodes to the spectrum by clicking anywhere on the spectrum or delete a node by selecting it and pressing the delete key on the keyboard. You can apply opacity changes to all nodes, or you can uncheck this checkbox, select a node, and change the opacity for that node only. I'll leave this checkbox checked. The Data to Color Mapping section allows you to specify the minimum and maximum z-values for the extents of the color map. That is, the z-values for the nodes at the minimum and maximum positions on the color spectrum. Once you have created your color map, you can click the Save button to save it to a CLR file for future use. If you have one already saved, you could click the Load button and load a previously saved color map into this dialog. I will click OK. On the General page, you can also choose what to do with the blank nodes in a grid file. You can choose to have the nodes not be drawn so that they are blank in the surface map, or you can remap them to a new z-value. Check the Show Base checkbox to fill the sides of the map under the surface to be the map base. This is useful if you're overlaying multiple surface maps together and you want to create a block diagram. You can also click the Edit Base Properties button to change the base side fill color or line properties. You can add a mesh to the surface map by using the options on the Mesh page. You can draw lines of constant x and y over the surface map, and you can choose the line properties for those lines. You can also set the frequency of these lines. A frequency of 1 means that there will be a line drawn for every grid node in the grid file. A frequency of 2 means that the mesh lines will be drawn at every other grid node. If you have a coarse grid file, then a frequency of 1 would be fine. The higher resolution of the grid file, the higher the frequency value should be so you can see the mesh lines. If I increase the frequency, you will see that there are fewer mesh lines. I will uncheck these checkboxes. The Lighting page allows you to change the lighting properties. You can change settings such as the light position angles and light colors. You can change the light position angles by entering new values for the horizontal and vertical positions, or by sliding the sliders, which range from 0 to 360 degrees. The light colors can be changed by clicking on the Color button and selecting a new color from the Color drop-down. I'll leave this set to white. The Overlays page lets you set some options when you have other map layers overlaid with your 3D surface. I will add a base map layer to demonstrate some of these options. First, since the map is already selected, I will click Map, Add Base Layer. I'll select demogrid.tif and click Open. Now I can see my base map layer on top of the surface map layer. When you overlay maps on top of the surface map, the overlay layer is converted to a raster image and then stretched over the 3D surface. When the overlays are stretched, the colors in the original overlay must be resampled to a new size and position. The resample method specifies how the overlay is resampled. In most cases, linear is the best option. If I change it to nearest, I can see that the overlay does not look quite as good, so I'll change it back to linear. You also have the option to specify the resolution of the overlay. The maximum resolution is 4096 pixels. If you are overlaying a high-resolution image over a 3D surface map, it will be resampled to a maximum of 4096 pixels. Again, in most cases, the default automatic is the best option. If your video card does not support Surfer's requirements, 1024 pixels might be the maximum resolution you can achieve. You also have the option to select the color modulation. You can choose to see the surface color only, the overlaid map layers only, or blend the surface map and overlaid map layers together. You can change the orientation of the map interactively using the trackball. Select the map and click on the trackball icon. Click on the map and drag it in the direction you wish to rotate the map. A blue bounding box will appear to show the outline of the map and will change orientation as you drag the mouse. The bounding box will be replaced with the new orientation of the surface map after the mouse button is released. You can repeat the trackball orientation as many times as you wish. To stop using the trackball tool, either press the escape key on the keyboard or click the select tool on the toolbar. This concludes the video training for creating and editing 3D surface maps in Surfer 11. If you have any additional questions, please contact Golden Software.